Hi, everybody, and welcome to another IFPA webinar. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Alice Titiali'i. I'm IFPA's Capacity Development Officer and in charge of our webinar series. So today we're going to be taking a look at this year's World Psoriasis Day campaign, United Now Act. And after the presentations are done, we'll have some time for questions. And now I have the pleasure of introducing today's speakers. I believe many of you are already familiar with them. First, we have Janina Kosterkaite, IFPA's project developer and project lead for World Psoriasis Day. And we also have Camille Lancelot, IFPA's communications manager. So, welcome to start.
Thank you, Alice. It's great to see so many people interested in learning about World Psoriasis Day. And every year on October 29th, we, including you and me, the whole global psoriatic disease community, come together to promote advocacy efforts. And because, as it's written on the slide, United sees the opportunity of World Psoriasis Day to take action. So today, World Psoriasis Day is observed in 50 countries worldwide, and we all share the same goals. United, we raise the profile of psoriatic disease and increase awareness of the effect it has on an individual's life. And surprisingly, for many people, psoriasis is still a relatively unknown disease. So we use this day, World Psoriasis Day, this platform to dispel common myths and answer questions. It is also yes, it also empowers governments to step up their efforts to provide better access to appropriate and affordable treatment. And finally, we unite our voices, and when we do it, wonderful things happen. I think you will agree with me that the past few years were quite challenging. We have all been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, and we faced extra barriers to healthcare. We were uncertain about the treatments, vaccines, but despite that, we remained committed to improving the quality of life of people living with psoriatic disease. So this pandemic, we believe, has only emphasized how important it is to stay united, to protect the most vulnerable in our community, and of course to fight for it, because now is the time to unite and act. And for us, for IFPA, unity doesn't mean being the same. It is actually quite the opposite, because we want to embrace our differences, whether it's a skin color, culture, religion, can be political views, you name it. Maybe we even have different illnesses. So unity means oneness of purpose to fight psoriatic disease. And I want to say a special thank you to World Psoriasis Day group members for their devotion and active participation in planning the campaign, because you're the reason why we have a very strong psoriatic disease community and why we have this campaign every year. Okay, so this year, this United year, we unite individuals, organizations, IFPA partners, and literally everyone willing to support our community. It doesn't matter if they have psoriatic disease or not. So each of you, you're welcome to invite everyone around you, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues to join us, to join the campaign, because every voice matters when we fight to convert political will into action. And we've been waiting for years, and now we have to simply demand, because the promises made to our community have to and will be fulfilled. In this slide, you can see the three simple ways how you can contribute to the campaign. So, for example, if you are an ambassador or patient advocate, or simply have some extra time, you could get in touch with policymakers in your country and insist on national guidelines. But it doesn't have to be so major, because signing World Psoriasis Day petition is already a very big step towards success in advocacy. And I will introduce the petition shortly. You can also share your story or facts or your support on social media. And if you use hashtag World Psoriasis Day, it will even appear on our website. And lastly, being informed is crucial. And you can find out more about the disease on IFPA website. I keep mentioning our website because it is a reliable source to search for information and get to know about the campaigns. And my colleague will guide you through after we're done with this boring part. So, United Now Act is a slogan of the campaign and also of the World Psoriasis Day petition, which is a document used to present and renew the commitment to people living with psoriatic disease after the resolution and WHO global report on psoriasis. So if you agree with our demands that I will present soon, you're encouraged to sign it on psoriasisday.org website. So let's have a look at the list of demands and get familiar with them. First is change perception. And you have probably heard that psoriatic disease is a systematic disease, meaning that it doesn't affect only the skin, but there is also an increased risk of developing comorbidities such as obesity or diabetes. But it doesn't affect only physically, and we have to consider the psychological and financial burden as well. And so with this petition, we are asking to have healthcare professionals and health systems that strive to provide patients with comprehensive care. We believe that clinicians must inform patients about the possible consequences, and they must ensure collaboration, this doctor-patient relationship, to achieve the optimal disease management. So this was the first demand of the petition. The second demand is to ensure equal access to medicines. Um, you know it, but I'm still sorry to say, but psoriatic disease is incurable, but the skin and joint symptoms can be effectively managed with medications. And it is known that access to affordable, safe, effective, and quality medicines and even technologies will achieve the optimal management of the disease and prevent from comorbidities. So with this section of petition, we ask government bodies and health authorities to address issues such as availability and reimbursements of medicines, to make sure that the appropriate therapy is made available to all that can benefit from it. Diseases that are visible on the skin are often associated with rejection or exclusion from society. I'm sure it's now big news for you. And what is even worse, that stigmatization is often accompanied by self-stigma. So individuals with psoriatic disease can feel shame, embarrassment, and low self-esteem. Maybe you can name even more. So um, we believe that governments and patients' organizations, both of them, have a key role in reducing stigma and discrimination. The situation can be changed through campaigns such as WIS, World Psoriasis Day, and that's why I'm stressing the importance of participation and really being proactive, because you and your actions can make a big difference in reducing stigma. So everything is in your hands, and you cannot wait for anyone else around you to make the change. In order to achieve an optimal disease management, we have to look into health systems and how we operate. Disease-centered approach, as we are all familiar with, is not suitable for people living with complex conditions, such as psoriatic disease, and the focus needs to be shifted on individuals and their health goals. So they have to receive holistic care, and the simplest way to ensure that is by combining and coordinating efforts between specialists, for example, dermatologists and rheumatologists. And of course, we have to include primary care, mental health services, and obviously patients, because treating psoriatic disease is teamwork. So if you're suffering from it, don't be afraid to reach out for help. The last demand is to prepare the health workforce, because everyone will agree that the high quality health workforce is essential. And shortage of workers and irregular distribution of specialists usually build disparities in care between and even within cities. And you can see an example on your screens that out of 54 countries in Africa, 30 have no university training programs on dermatology. So there's no surprise that many people are still undiagnosed. So we believe that governments and NGOs should provide education on common chronic skin conditions to healthcare professionals. And it also has to be included in trainings for physicians in primary care to increase early diagnosis and prevent disability. So these are our 5 demands. And once again, if you agree with at least one of them, please sign the petition online as an individual or as an organization at psoriasisday.org. Right, so the second step that we discussed earlier is to share your story, because it is important to let people know that we're not alone, and everything what we're experiencing right now has been experienced by others as well. Yes, if your story is too personal, sharing information is also very powerful, because you can spark change in society with a simple social media post. And we have prepared a couple for you to share, and some informational videos will be posted on our channels as well. And I think now it's time to invite my colleague Kamel, who is our communications manager at IFPA, to present psoriasisday.org website and to show how you can contribute to the campaign and how you can navigate the website.
Thank you, Janina. Maybe you can mute your microphone so that I can have. Okay, great. Welcome everybody again to the webinar. Thank you, Janina, for that excellent explanation of the campaign. And now I'm just going to take you around the World Psoriasis Day website, which is at psoriasisday.org, and show you how you can put it into action. So I hope you can see my screen now. Here is the World Psoriasis Day website. If you type in psoriasisday.org, you'll be redirected to this site on the IFPA website. So the first thing that you can do on the website is see all of the activities that are going on for World Psoriasis Day around the world. So if you want to click on an activity in Puerto Rico, for example, you can see the pin. There's an educational conference happening in Puerto Rico on that day, and I can click this button to get more information about the activity. And we encourage all of you to upload your own activities. So it doesn't matter if you're an individual representing yourself, you can be an organization, you can be a company, you can be a school. We encourage everybody to be uploading their World Psoriasis Day activities to this map. And the way you do it is you come up to this menu at the top and you click Upload Activity. And then you get a form where you fill in your activity. So I can do a mock activity. I'll pretend that my activity is called March Against Stigma. You can see that I've already practiced this. The event organizer, I'm pretending I'm the Psoriasis Association of Genovia, which does not exist. But if you are just representing yourself as an individual, maybe you're going to have a support group meeting or a lunch that you're throwing, something like that, special for World Psoriasis Day. If that's the case, you can just write your name here as well. You can write a description of the event, a link to more where people can find out more about the event, maybe a registration link, maybe a link to your organization's website. So I'll pretend that I want a link to my website, which will be, well, I'll just do I'll do psoriasisday.org, because that's the one that you should be typing in to visit this website, and the start date, the end date, and the event address. So the event address is probably the most important part of this. If I want it to show up on the map, I need to tell it where to put the pin on the map. So it can be as simple as just writing the country that you're in. So in my case, I'm pretending I'm from Genovia, which, as I said, doesn't exist. But if you are inviting people to come to your event, and for example, if it is a march and you want people to know the starting place for your event, you can write a specific address as well. And then I agree to the terms and conditions and upload the activity. Thanks for submitting. And the activities takes us normally 1 business day to approve the activities, and then your pin will show up on the map. So that is the activity map. The next way to participate and get involved, as Yanina was talking about, we have a petition. And so Yanina did a good job of explaining all of the elements, what we're demanding from the international community. So we encourage you all to read the petition. You can read it clicking on these links. We have translations in several different languages. And if you agree to what we're talking about, and we think you will because they're very reasonable demands, we encourage you to sign the petition. So again, you do that by typing your name, Camille, Lancelot, that's my name. My organization is IFPA, and this is my email address. And I sign the petition, accept the terms and agreements, and sign the petition. And it says I've already signed up, which I have, but normally you see your name come up here. I know that on cell phone view, it takes a little bit of time for your name to show up on the list, so you don't need to click sign, sign, sign many times. Your name will show up. Then you can learn more about the petition from watching this video. So I won't click play now, but just if you want, instead of reading the petition, if you want to hear about it in video format, this is available for you. Oh, okay, I'm getting a signal that I should play the video. I don't know if I've shared my sound. Maybe I'll come back to that at the end. Then, so we have a lot of resources also for you. So we have the World Psoriasis Day Toolkit available in all of these languages. You can download the petition again in all of these languages. And as Yanina was talking about, we have a social media toolkit and a logo kit. So if you are wanting to put posts on social media, you can have some ready-made ones to download here. And if you would like to make your own posts, you can download the World Psoriasis Day logo and put them on your posts. And finally, we have an image generator. So I think you'll notice on a lot of our productions that we have this pattern that we're using to represent World Psoriasis Day. And we have made this pattern available for your photos too. So this is also really simple to use. It could be fun to use, for example, to change your profile picture on Facebook for the October 29th, something like that. And it's very simple. You just choose an image. I'll choose one that I already have ready. And it's better if you choose an image that has a transparent background, because otherwise it will color the background with the pattern. And basically it comes up ready to use, but if you want to change the colors, you can do purple on orange. You can adjust these settings here. You can do orange on white, purple on white. You can do, it will say the slogan of the campaign, Uniting for Action, and then all you do is save your image. And here it is. And save image. So I hope that will be easy to use. And another thing that we have in the works, and that's not quite ready yet, is that we plan to have a social media stream. So this will come to the website within the next couple of days. And when you put posts on Twitter or on Instagram and you use the hashtag World Psoriasis Day, your post will show up in a social media screen on this website. And so in that way, your message and your story can be shared with the world and people can know more about the activities that you have going on. So we encourage you to use the World Psoriasis Day website. Again, the address is psoriasisday.org. And we look forward to seeing your activities. And now maybe I can reshare my screen. Hang on, let me find. And I'll share it with sound and we can watch the video together. Okay.
Psoriatic disease is more than skin deep. Now the world has come together to fight psoriatic disease in all its complexity. We are united to change the lives of millions living with psoriatic disease. In 2014, all UN nations made a unanimous commitment to tackle psoriasis and aid people living with psoriatic disease. But 7 years later, we have yet to see widespread action, and people with psoriatic disease are still suffering. That is why IFPA is spearheading a World Psoriasis Day petition. By getting involved now, you can spark action. More than promises, we demand progress. You can make a genuine impact on the lives of people living with psoriatic disease all over the world. Join our fight today. Sign the World Psoriasis Day petition to challenge your government to deliver breakthroughs in multidisciplinary care and equal access to treatment. Demand change in the perception of psoriatic disease among the medical community. Stop stigma and fight for everyone living with every kind of psoriatic disease. 1 in 3 people still believe that psoriatic disease only affects the skin, but psoriatic disease affects the whole body, from the joints to the heart to mental health. Patients must be informed about the consequences of psoriatic disease and empowered to seek support from knowledgeable doctors. This is not a cosmetic issue. It is a serious disease. On average, people see 3 different medical professionals before getting a treatment that works. Everyone with psoriatic disease deserves an affordable, safe, and effective treatment plan that embraces the whole person, not just one symptom. 4 in 5 people with psoriatic disease have faced stigma and discrimination due to their condition. We say no. Speak up for people living with psoriatic disease. This is the power of World Psoriasis Day. Together, we join forces to raise awareness and drive progress. The time to act is now. We are done waiting for change. It's time to get loud and demand a more educated world that knows what psoriatic disease is, how to combat it, and how to love people who live with psoriatic disease. Sign IFPA's World Psoriasis Day petition online at www.psoriasisday.org and join our fighting spirit.
All right. Thank you very much. And as we've said many, many times, we're excited to have you on this webinar. We're excited to have you join the campaign, and we encourage you to get involved at psoriasisday.org. Back to you, Yanina.
Okay, thank you, Camille, and thank you, Yanina, for getting us familiar with the United campaign. I think now we have time for some questions. So if you would like to speak, you can raise your hand and we will unmute your microphone so you can ask your question. Or if you want, you can write your questions in the chat. So please take this opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about the campaign, or maybe you would like to share an activity that you're organizing in your country. So I see that we already have a couple of raised hands. The first name I see is Ellen. I'm going to unmute your mic now if you would like to ask your question.
Not yet, Alice. Alice,
Hello?
Not yet.
Yes, we hear you.
not yet. Later. Can you hear me?
A little bit. Is it
Yeah,
possible?
not yet. Maybe later.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So we'll move on to the next raised hand, which is Masanori. Your microphone should work now. I think you just have to unmute it from your end, and then you can ask your question. Okay, so we see you on screen. Can we hear you? It looks like you are muted from your side. So. Okay. Let's take a question from the chat while we're figuring out the sound issues. So I think this question is for you, Camille. Which hashtags do you recommend for WPD social media posts?
Yes, so we have a couple of hashtags that we're using. The hashtag for this year's campaign in particular is hashtag United Now Act. I can type that in the chat. And so that is like for this year in particular, and we'll be using that to follow, I guess, you know, the activity from this year and not every World Psoriasis Day. So that's a good one to use, and you can translate that into your language too. That would be a good one to translate. But if you want your post to show up on the World Psoriasis Day website, the best hashtag to use is hashtag World Psoriasis Day with no spaces, of course. So I can type that in the chat too, and that will help you interact with the World Psoriasis Day website. So I think those are the two good hashtags to use. Hashtag United Now Act, and you can translate to your language, and then hashtag World Psoriasis Day.
Okay, and another question, is the World Psoriasis Day video available in Spanish?
Yes, we have the video, not the video itself, but it has Spanish subtitles, and you can see it on our website.
Okay. Let's try with the third person who's raising their hand and see if the microphone works this time. So Trong, I'm allowing your mic. Hopefully it works. Okay, so maybe today we're going to focus on questions from the chat. So if you have questions, please write them down in the chat because we seem to be not figuring out this microphone issue. So another question, how many activities can I upload at the same time on the website?
Okay, you can upload basically as many activities as you want to the website. If you have multiple activities for World Psoriasis Day, I recommend that you upload them as separate activities. So you don't have to try to upload your march and your webinar and your lunch gathering. You don't have to put that all in one activity. What you should do is have separate activities for each of those events. And it's okay if all of the links are to the same website, maybe, or to the same Facebook page, wherever you want people to find out more about the event. But each activity for World Psoriasis Day should have its own activity, and there's no limit for now.
Do the activities uploaded on the World Psoriasis Day website have to be in English language?
No, they don't. They can be in any language. Sorry, Yanina, maybe you wanted to answer. Yeah, but they can be in your own language. And in fact, I think it's a good idea to put it in your own language because we want this map also to be a resource for people to find out about World Psoriasis Day and then see how they can participate in their own country. So the more that it's in your language and people in your area can get involved in your activity, that's what we want from this map.
Okay, and now we have a trickier question. So the petition mentions 60 million people. The last number that we've talked about was 125 million people. Is the 60 million people referring to a particular zone, or is it the new global number?
Okay, thank you for the question. So according to Global Psoriasis Atlas, this is the new number which we should be using. So we encourage everyone to use around 60 million people instead of that we had previously 125. So this is the correct number to use in your messages.
Okay, thank you. So, like I said, I think we're having some difficulties with the mics today. So if you have any questions, please write them to us in the chat. For those of you who had your hands raised and didn't get to speak, you can write your questions in the chat, so I'll read them out loud. Okay, we have another question about how many people have psoriasis or the burden of the disease. I'm not sure if the three of us are the right people to respond to it, but if either of you wants to talk more about it.
So we have our colleague Cicely, who is a scientific officer at IFPA, and she will explain what is happening with the numbers, why we jumped from 125 to 60 million.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cicely Mboru, Scientific Officer at IFPA, and it's a really good question that we've been receiving as well. The numbers have changed, not because the initial numbers were guessed. No, this is because the first number that was given, which was 125 million, was an estimate done. I think that was in 2014 prior to the resolution, and they took 2% as a percentage of each country. And now we have the Global Psoriasis Atlas actually trying to get the correct estimates in each country. And this began in 2016. So I would encourage you also to visit the Global Psoriasis Atlas website, as well as our newly launched website, to find out more about how the numbers are changing. But as I mentioned, it's an estimated figure that is more accurate compared to the previous 125 million figure. Yeah. Thanks, Camille.
Okay, thank you. And I saw another question in the chat, which I think would be good to read out loud. What day is World Psoriasis Day?
So World Psoriasis Day is on October 29th. Every year it is the same day. And maybe I can also add that some countries, they have awareness month, so it would be October, somebody celebrates it a week earlier, a week after. So it doesn't really matter which day it is. The most important is that you take action, that you participate in the campaign.
Yes, and maybe we can keep an eye on the activity map to see which dates people are organizing their activities. So I don't see any more questions at the moment, but we still have some time. So please feel free to write us questions, or like I said in the beginning, if you're organizing something in your country, we would be interested in hearing about it. Or you can put it on the activity map. Okay, so Trong from Vietnam says we celebrate a month of World Psoriasis Day. So all of October. Okay, it seems like we worked our way through the questions for today. So Yenan and Camille, do you want to do any final plugs? Mention the website again, maybe?
So I can only repeat the previous question, that we use hashtag World Psoriasis Day, hashtag WPD 2021, and also hashtag United Now Act. And you can find all information on psoriasisday.org. All toolkits, petition, videos, everything is available on the website. And of course, when we come closer to World Psoriasis Day, you can visit our platforms, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter for more posts and updates, because we will have several informational World Psoriasis Day videos, which we will release very soon.
Okay, thank you. That's all we have for today's webinar. So we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar and to see all of your activities for World Psoriasis Day. Thank you.
Thank you.